Hello grapplers and welcome to a new video. Today we're gonna talk about matchups. I know the last time I did a poll, the option for a matchup video won. So I decided after thinking a little bit about it, and since my input of the matchup videos has been kinda low, I decided to make one video. I'm probably gonna go over certain things, so definitely if you have something to add to the matchups, please leave a comment down below. And since it's gonna be a long one, I'm probably gonna forget it. So I'm gonna start by saying if you really like this video, please subscribe. We're really close to 2K. That's amazing. And also visit the Siberia Lab on Twitch. That being said, let's go one by one, every single character, at least 2 or 3 tips. So let's go. First thing you need to know is that Luke players tend to go a little bit crazy with the flash knuckles. You can react with light SPD in order to catch the flash knuckle. It takes a little bit of time, but you can definitely do it. You can also respond with the eye, but only if the Luke player does not have super level 3. The other thing that is very annoying is a suppressor. Be careful about this move. If for some reason you block it, he's only -3 fireballs. Luke players tend to do, some of them, not everyone, but some of them, tend to go for way too many fireballs. If he's close at this point, you'll see that one is -8, -5, and the one that is usually safe is the heavy one, or the OD one. At that range at least, you'll see that he has a gap, and that was heavy into heavy. He needs to go into the unsafe one, or the OD one, to remain completely safe. That was punishable between the heavy and the fireball. So if he wants to be safe and not get punished between the attack and the fireball, he needs to use a faster one. Now what's the thing over here? Even though you cannot get the OD Lariat or the super level 2 or 3, he's gonna be minus. And since the medium one is -5 and the light one is -8, unless he goes for the heavy into heavy, which has the gap again for super level 2, OD Lariat or super level 3, if he goes for the medium one or the light one, you can punish with SPD most of the time. He should not do that. And the other one that is also pretty common is the crouching medium kick. I don't know why they do this, but you'll see that if I block it, -5 again, but this is not a heavy move. So you can use OD Lariat. This is gonna be a general thing for attacks, buttons into fireballs in this game. Some characters are easier to punish in this sense. Luke is somewhere in between, but keep this in mind, he has to use meter if he wants to remain safe. The die kick is awful. This move completely sucks. It's good to bait you into doing something. The hurt box is awful. They haven't truly fixed this one. So you can easily lariat or even super level 1 if you really see Jaime doing something in the air. You know, he can jump forwards to bait a throw, usually the EX one. At least you're gonna throw him if he doesn't space it properly, the regular ones. The OD one is usually -2 or 0 depending on how he hits. So here, if you go for a light, you will trade with his 4-framer, and he has a Shoryuken, so be careful. Don't overextend yourself. Usually you have to neutral jump a bunch against this character, so you can go over the palm. You can also use a standing heavy punch. Hold it slightly. Be careful though, because he has a lot of time to go into the super level 3. It's more or less the same thing with Luke. He can confirm if he sees the armor of the standing heavy punch, or you press a DI. So be careful. Standing heavy punch is technically the best tool, and also standing medium punch to just stop it on his tracks. The Shoryuken is awful. This is -43, and also super level 1 is equally bad. Did you see that spin between the first group of hits and the second one? You can technically jump that. Jump forwards even. So he's very punishable. So whenever he goes for a super level 1 on block for some reason, or a Shoryuken, punish as hard as possible. This character probably is one of the easiest ones where you can go for the neutral drop kick. So if you want to go for that one, sure, take as much damage as possible. The sweep is a big issue too. I recommend getting used to standing medium kick, because that's the longest one, but he can easily space this thing. Be very wary of the distance he's using his sweep, and also he has a follow-up, which is punishable. You'll see that as -28, but be careful. He's only -11 and he usually spaces himself, so your best tool to punish that is actually standing medium kick. The Rekas are kinda interesting. Only the first group of punches can go into super level 3, and between the first group, that Reka, you can go for super level 3. So if he goes for this, that is -3. If he commits to the second part of the string, You can use super level 3 there and also here. The best thing he can do when he has this level is to just go for one and confirm the hit, or delay it and go for the second one, but he's dead. But if he goes for the second part or the third part, he's dead. Just mash your super level 3. You can wait for the -10. And this is -14, so you can easily punish. But that is when he has drink level 4. Without that, he has these attacks. And the first one is -6, -13, and -17. He also has the kicks. You have to be patient. Don't overcommit. Just remember that if he goes for anything, you can always go for super level 3. This is -6 on block. People tend to suggest Manon has good pokes. I tend to disagree. The only good poke she has is standing heavy kick. It's 15 frames. Second of all, -6 on block, -2 on hit. If she doesn't get a good counter hit or punish counter with this, that's her best poke overall. This is something very interesting. If she goes for this, that is completely fake. You can mash your super level 3. She cannot jump. She cannot press a button. The only thing she can do is, I believe, is a very early super level 2. Otherwise, super level 3 always catches her. Manon players tend to just overuse this move. And at first it seems like you cannot escape, but that's not the case. Wait for the second hit. There's crouchy light kick, and that spaces yourself to do something. For example, he has a very annoying move, which is this one, forward heavy kick. Forward heavy kick, she can go for a cross up, a neutral jump, or jump back. All of those three options can be countered by super level 1. Standing light punch also works for some of them. You'll see that the standing light punch works. You have to press it very early, but you can go into OD burst. The issue with the standing light punch is that it only covers the neutral jump and the forward jump. If she jumps back, she's gonna be safe. If you really want to punish all three options, you can use super level 1. Hell yeah. The only one that sadly is not punishable is just the regular one, which is -3. The other one that is also annoying is this. If you use your health stab, you are gonna trade with the die kick, juggle if she goes for the throw, and be punishable and she doesn't do anything. But that's the best one, because technically you can use standing heavy punch to beat the die kick, but that will lose to the throw, and you're not gonna punish that. So it's gonna be very easy for her to punish the standing heavy punch whiffing. So my recommendation is wait to see what kind of follow-up she goes for, but the best option is by far health stab. If she goes for the can and you dry reversal, during the recovery of the dry reversal, you're gonna get hit by the can. Don't abuse it. If you see the can out there, it's better to just perfect parry or regular parry and just wait there. Sadly, basically it's a 50-50. You have to guess it. Some people like standing medium punch, other ones like standing heavy kick. My advice is to use sweep. That's the best one. It is very easy to sweep, even though it doesn't look like it, but if you really know how to position yourself, you'll see that using sweep is actually kinda easy. Your sweep has a lot of range. Again, you can use other moves. Standing medium punch is very easy to use too, and standing heavy kick too. Some Marisa players tend to go for something like this and try to fake you into thinking she's gonna hold it. If you really get used to that specific mix-up, quote-unquote, you can use super level 2 and 3. You don't have to take this. Gladius, you'll see, on block, is actually -5. So she shouldn't be doing this. That's a free SPD. If she, for some reason, goes for EX, she's safe, but there's still a gap between medium. You see her or you hear her going for the Gladius, super level 2, super level 3, or parry, just in order for her to be either punished for doing something like that, or because if you only block the Gladius, at some point you're gonna get into burnout, because this thing, especially the charged one, takes a bunch of dry meter. So try to parry that, and if you see that she's going for the regular ones, because there's a different sound, she's gonna be -5. And sure, she can space herself here. That's not punishable, but some Marisa players tend to do it up here, and that's a free SPD. The Superman punch, only the OD version breaks armor. You can use Lariat to punish this, standing heavy kick. You can even regular burst or OD burst. And finally, the armor is only full body in OD. That means you can sweep this, crouching medium kick. That's why having a good crouching medium kick is very important in this matchup. Supers are also kind of strange. She has a super level 2, That is technically minus 44, but if you do your heavy SPD right away, you're not gonna punish her. Same with super level 1. She's spaced. Minus 43. The super level 3 is the one that you don't have to concern yourself about, but super level 1 and 2, she spaces herself. So either dash and punish, or forward jump and punish. But don't do heavy SPD immediately. This happens a lot with Zangief players. Dash first, heavy SPD, or walk forwards first, wheel kick, move forwards. There's not much to say this. She easily outpokes Zangief. You already know that the Condor Spire is just hell, especially when she has the Windstock. This is just hell. My first advice is for you to hold on your drive meter, because you will need to do drive reversal. When she has Windstock, mostly players don't do this, but she can go for this. And that is pretty annoying. You'll see that you're minus 23. If you want to punish that, you have to drive rush most of the time. Because wheel kick is not technically 22, 23 frames. Forward hitbox, the horizontal hitbox, appears way later into the animation. So you cannot punish that with wheel kick. You need to drive rush. Ideally drive rush light SPD, but you can also do drive rush crouchy light punch. And in some cases, depending on how she spaces herself, you can go for drive rush standing medium punch. Regular one, it's easier to punish because she's closer. You have to use a lot of sweeps. React very often with perfect parry, especially if you can get used to perfect parrying this. It's a first step. You can perfect parry Hell Staff Lariat or just go straight into Lariat. OD Lariat if you can. Take the O key and keep the pressure going. She has a really fast Shoryuken. If she has the Windstock, you'll see that this is 4 frames, which is surprisingly fast in this game. I think that's the fastest Shoryuken in the game. Be careful. She has a lot of tools against Zangief. Probably this is the hell button, the I'm gonna win this matchup button. It is very easy to confirm. You can confirm the second hit extremely easy. She has a command grab again. That's a lot of range. That's the light one. She's just very annoying. You have to use a lot of standing heavy punches carefully. Sweeps, you want to drop her, especially if she doesn't have the Windstock. You want to drop her. You want to abuse Spinebuster. All of your moves with Oki, you have to abuse them in this matchup. Take her to the corner as soon as possible. Use your drive reversal if possible. Yeah, it's bad. It's a bad matchup. This is not something you have to be scared about. Standing heavy punch into a fireball. Even the OD one. All those fireballs lose to a slightly charged standing heavy punch. So, you can switch the standing heavy punch into the heavy spin. And if he does that, your standing heavy punch will lose. Standing heavy kick is very good to punish the neutral jump heavy kick. You can also use Hell Stab. But be careful, it's a little bit difficult to get used to the timing and the range, but you can. You can definitely punish with something better, but you can use Hell Stuff, that's the point. How the hell do you block the super level 2? This is difficult, because he has some mix-ups with super level 2, but if you want to know how to raw block the super level 2, mid, mid, low, mid. Or high if you want, I mean, this is not Tekken, but that's how you block it. Only the third one is a low, so you can block standing. JP player can enforce a low by doing a crouching light kick or walk back. Wait between the second and the third spike to go for the throw. So it's not 100% safe for you to go for the same blocking pattern over and over again because the JP player has the upper hand. If she has 2 stocks and she goes for that, the QCF powered up version is minus 12. So into the fireball there's a gap. And if she doesn't go for the fireball, obviously she's minus 12. So you can use super level 3 or OD Lariat. You can just mash it. And if she goes for the first hit and then the fireball, that's a true block string. So you can mash your OD Lariat. Your OD Lariat does not come out. Nothing happened. And she's minus 3. Be careful. Some Juri players love to use Shoryukens here. The light charge is minus 4. And this is the one she's gonna use the most. This is just for you to know she's minus 4. You can press a button here, mostly standing medium kicks, just in case, or standing medium punches. She does have a good backdash. This goes for more characters than just Juri, but you have to stop the drive rushes. If she goes for a drive rush from here, usually your standing medium punch will catch her. This guy loves to forward jump. They love to do this. So have your Lariat ready. That's the first thing. Be careful. Obviously every character can jump, but these guys, the floor is lava for these guys. You can Tundra the medium kick of the sway and the heavy one. That one, the overhead, and that kick. I think at some point they removed this because I was testing and you can no longer Tundra this one. You used to be able to Tundra everything, but now This one is outside of the realm of Tundra. Be careful with that one and the regular sway. The OD ones, you cannot punish at all. To be honest, they mostly go for the low one, so this is no longer that important, but I just wanted to mention if for some reason you want to use Tundra, you can, I guess. This is a knowledge check. This is something you need to know. The super level 1, you'll see that it's -12 and it's spaced. Most of the time, your only punish is gonna be sweep. But be careful, again, he can space himself. And here, even though he's -12, he is not punishable. This, I've seen a lot of players go for wheel kick and they whiff it. You have a little bit of time when he starts going down. So one thing you can do is walk back a little bit for your wheel kick to not whiff. Or you can use a fully charged neutral drop kick or a Smetana drop kick, even standing heavy kicks. Go to training mode, get used to the timing so he doesn't escape whenever he goes for that. If you get to burnout, some Cammy players love to do something like this. If you block the knuckle, the spin knuckle, and then the crouching light punch, she can do that. She's plus enough for her to do that. You can use crouching light kick, and any of the next follow-ups are gonna be stopped by your crouching light kick. So some Cammy players know that, so instead of going for the plus frames, they tend to grab you here, micro walk, grab you, so be careful. The dive kicks are absolute hell. They're very hard to punish. Technically, your standing heavy punch is the easiest one to use, but the one that beats every single one is Hell Stab. However, that recovers for like 20-something frames, so you're gonna be whiffing for a long time if she doesn't go for the dive kicks. Old Lariat is also a good tool, but I would recommend just generally standing heavy punch. And sometimes, you know that's gonna happen, she's gonna hit very low, and that will connect with the hurtbox of the kick. Because Zangief has a small hurtbox around his front kick when he goes for the standing heavy punch. That's gonna happen. You just have to take it, sadly. And be careful with the standing heavy kicks. All of them. All of them are pretty good. The forward heavy kick, very good if you whiff. The sweep, pretty good sweep, good range. The back heavy kick and the standing heavy kick. All of the heavy kicks are really good against Zangief. Obviously, the crouching medium kick, very good tool. She tends to move back, so you have to lose the fear of using sweep in this matchup. You have to use that, the standing medium punch. Very carefully, because some Cammy players will respond immediately to a whiffed standing medium punch with a forward jump. They're gonna get used to a random forward jump sometimes. Don't overuse your mediums. Use your heavies because you have more range with those. So you can keep her at a certain range. So if you use your mediums will whiff here. If you use your heavies, not abuse them. Use your heavies like walk back, standing heavy punch. She will not know where she needs to stand. So at that point, she will start walking back more than normal. And then you can take her to a corner. The Ryu player goes for the Hashogekis, because this is +1. So this is basically secure for him. That's very annoying. You can use super level 3 after the crouching light punch during the startup of the Hashogeki, but it's a super hard read. It's just better not to reach that point, so be careful around your drive meter. You don't want to be in burnout against this guy. The other thing that is pretty common with Ryu players is doing a few Hadoken, Hashogeki, in order for you to whiff something. Usually parry, so you can drive rush and grab you. Punish counter. What you want to do is just block a few, actually see the fireball moving forwards, use your standing medium punch every time you see him going for the Hashogeki. You'll see that it recovers in 18 frames, that means sweep. So if you get used to either stopping this with standing medium punch or sweep, and not overly abusing parry, you're gonna be fine. Just be careful, because they love to do this. Even though it's 20 frames, the solar plexus hits more than we want to admit. Double hit, so the standing heavy punch loses here. And you have to take the +3. Ideally, you don't want to get to this position, but it's hard. So my advice is to keep your lights ready so Ryu doesn't get that close with some random solar plexus. He's a very good character in this game. People don't realize how strong he is. In some specific options, he's stronger than Akuma. But he has some general issues, like his game plan is very simple. But he has some good tools, like doing the donkey kick. He has some really good pokes against Zangief. The standing medium kick, excellent poke. Standing heavy kick, he has some good tools, like the standing heavy punch. People say Aki is the queen of burnout. I'd say Ryu is the king of burnout, because that guy in burnout is crazy. Don't get to that point. This is probably the easiest matchup in the game for Zangief. And, first of all, Every time he goes for sumo headbutt, he's -3. You can use crouching light kick, SPD sometimes. You have to guess here. The Honda player can go for parry, and you go for the crouching light kick. He will perfect parry, or he can go for a jump if you SPD. You'll see he's not in range for regular throw. He has to walk forwards. So you don't have to commit. You can just walk back and see what he wants to do. If you see the parry, you can SPD, light SPD or medium SPD. Or you can just use a standing heavy punch if you see the sumo headbutt going forwards. If you see him doing something like this, don't commit. You can drive rush to recover the space you lost, close the gap. But this is not really that significant. You can even use a drive rush wheel kick sometimes. If you catch him really high, you can basically hit him out of the air. This is just for you to commit. In fact, you have to wheel kick like a madman in this one. He tends to go for the standing heavy punch with Punisher, sometimes something like that. You don't have to be that scared of Honda. Just go for some driver wheel kicks, maybe a really good space wheel kick. He will not punish that hard. Even though his crouching light punch is good, this is mostly for pressure when he's waking up, not necessarily the best button to take turn back when he's blocking. The body splash, you can easily standing heavy punch or very late, even regular lariat. So this is super fake. And the command grab, you'll see that he recovers. He's only +7, so none of this is real. He doesn't have good pressure after this. And even if you block the sumo smash, you'll see that he's -1. He doesn't have the best pressure after a blocked sumo smash. And you sweep. Sweep is very good against this guy because he's always either holding down back so you can take a wheel kick or walking back to make you whiff. Again, the same thing as Cammy, use your sweep. Your sweep is very good in this matchup. In every single one, but in this one you can use it as a poke. You can go for light Blanka ball, heavy Blanka ball, and if you use the eye, you will not punish this. You can do it very late, especially the OD lariat. So be careful with that. Remember that the sound is different. So if he goes for the light one, it sounds like this. The medium and heavy, they have different sounds. If he goes for the heavy or medium, OD lariat or regular lariat. If you're unsure what to use against this, wheel kick. Yeah, wheel kick, surprisingly. But wheel kick during the first 2 to 3 active frames, it has a good hitbox for anti-airing. The issue is you never use it because you have lariat, or parrying, so you never use it as anti-air, only a few occasions. Well, this is one. If you're the Blanka player, you go against loves to do this, wheel kick, don't lariat, because lariat, as you know, sometimes whiffs, and that sucks. Wheel kick. Boom. This is super annoying. Ideally, what you want to do is delay your crouching light kick over here, if you use for something like this, or delay your parry. Just be careful, because even though he's not technically that plus when he does this, he can keep you guessing very, very frequently, especially if he goes for this. He can go for something really nasty, so delay your crouching light kick or your parry are the 2 best choices. Sometimes you can even use a crouching light kick into SPD or even super level 3. Just be careful. Everything you do, delay it. A lot of Guile's buttons into Sonic Boom, light Sonic Boom, especially not the perfect one, have gaps. So you have to take advantage of that. So you can punish with standing heavy punch. Just be careful. Usually the heavy Sonic Boom and the perfect heavy or medium Sonic Booms have no gaps, but from lights or mediums into the light one, the light Sonic Boom, or even heavy into the light Sonic Boom, have gaps. The best case scenario, you hold it slightly and you punish the Sonic Boom, as long as it's not a 2-hit Sonic Boom, or there's not enough frames for you to go for it. So standing heavy punch is a good tool. Walk and block, walk and block. Your 2 best buttons, same with Cammy, are standing heavy punch and sweep. With those 2, you can keep the Guile player mostly guessing. Remember, he has to walk back or down back in order to charge his moves, so you can more or less know when he wants to go for those. You have to jump forwards, and he will anti-air, but you have to do it. You have to sometimes you just have to trust yourself and jump forwards with medium kick. This actually extends Guile hurtbox a ton. Do you see that? I was here. The flash kick is kinda hard to punish compared to other reversals in the game. I would recommend just going for a standing heavy kick or Smetana if you're in the corner. Your wheel kick can whiff sometimes. It's hard to tell. Just go for standing heavy kick and Smetana until you get used to the timing of the wheel kick. If he doesn't space himself properly, this is a free SPD. Light SPD. Your best answer against Dragon Slash is DI, but you can also use Borscht, Hell Stab, Super Level 1, and Standing Heavy Punch. You just have to get used to the sound cue and the animation. He uses Super Level 2 on Wake Up. That is minus 19, so you don't punish with Whale Kick. Not a lot of Ken players do that as a wake-up tool, but if you happen to block it, punish correctly. His poking game is extremely annoying, but I'd say the worst thing he has is this. That thing is just why. If you get used to standing heavy punch all the time, you will get hit. If you don't space your standing medium punch correctly, you will get hit. He can punish the recovery frames of some buttons with that drive rush crouching medium kick. Be extra careful with this guy. My recommendation is the same as other characters. If he tries to go for a drive rush out of nowhere, your standing medium punch is usually the best tool. You can delay it a little bit. When you see him go green, you can go for the whole target combo because remember that it's a standing medium punch. Counter hit. Use it. This guy will drive rush. Your standing heavy punch loses to Hasanshu. So be careful. If she goes for something like this, don't use your standing heavy punch. The heavy kick version of the 100 kicks is minus 3. Same with the OD one. Again, they have different sound cues. Medium one. You cannot punish that with SPD because if you go immediately for it, that's only minus 3. She can jump. So my recommendation, if you, for now, until you get used to the sound, is to use crouching light kick just to check her. Be careful, she can perfect parry obviously. The fireball, the Kikosho. This is minus 22. Again, that means your whale kick will not punish here. This matchup requires a lot from the Zangief player because she has a forward medium punch which is very good. Some really annoying jumps. Especially this in the corner, that's hell. Absolute hell. If you perfect parry, she can still jump. You have to wait. Ideally, and this, I'm gonna sound like a broken record here, but ideally you have to use your sweep to keep her in check. Your standing heavy punch too, and if he tries to go for a drive rush, you have to use a standing medium punch. He has a stance which is super annoying because she has an overhead from this. Then she goes for something like this. You can use your lariat there, so you have to respect her. Use your OD lariat just in case. Use a lot of headbutt in order for you to take as much right meter as possible. You want her in burnout. This is a crazy matchup. Zangief can punish his sweep with his sweep. So if you block one sweep from the other Zangief player, immediately go for yours. A standing heavy punch is basically mandatory in this matchup, but don't hold it all the time. A lot of Zangief players tend to abuse the standing heavy punch fully held. You don't have to do that. Get used to poking with the standing heavy punch here. Because remember, the other Zangief player wants to use the standing medium punch, the same buttons you use. So this has more range. A good whiff punisher against Zangief because he recovers in a lot of frames. Almost every single medium is either 18 frames, 19 frames, 20 something frames. So this is pretty good. The lariat is super consistent against Zangief because he doesn't jump that far and he also jumps very slow. So get used to anti-airing all the time. And talking about anti-airs, if you manage to do a knockdown against the Zangief player, remember, you can always abuse the body splash against the other Zangief player, especially on wake up. Just be careful, he can perfect parry that, and since the body splash has 5 extra recovery frames, he can throw you. And the rest of it is, well, you don't have a Shoryuken with this guy, so you know what to do. You have to abuse your grabs and your headbutt. Remember that you can dry reversal the headbutt if you are unsure and the other Zangief player is committing. You can try reversal perfectly. Let's start with the super level 1. This now spaced is minus 10. The light one, the medium one, so he's not punishable unless you're super close. They love to pressure the opponent that jump. They're either gonna hit you with this and then maybe a drill or jumping heavy. But the most common one is a drill. Your best option against almost every single option is Hell Stab. Standing light punch works, same with crouching light punch. So if for some reason he tries to teleport or jump away, you can always use these buttons to juggle the guy. Crouching light punch and standing heavy kick are also pretty important in this matchup because you can juggle very often the Dhalsim player with these 2 buttons, especially if he goes for jumping back heavy kick or heavy punch. You also need to perfect parry. If you manage to perfect parry a heavy button, usually you have to go for either whale kick or sweep. If you use your knee, you can close the gap. Be careful, you only hit a couple of buttons with this one. He can also wait and hit you with crouching medium punch. But he can teleport, fireball, and then he has to fall. If you see the fireball, you can super level 1, but you have to see the fireball. This is also a knowledge check, but you have to block the super level 2. Well, you make it whiff, but you have to be crouching on wake up just in case he goes for the super level 2, because the super level 1 is not a reversal. So either Dhalsim wakes up with super level 2 or 3. The super level 2 you can block crouching, and your best punish in the middle of the screen is SPD, so you don't get hit by the fireball and the thing is falling. Or you go for a crouching medium punch or health stab into OD Lariat for extra punishment into super level 3. Always have your super level 2 ready, because Rashid, if he doesn't get a knockdown, he cannot use the super level 2 as is. Usually you have to hold forwards in order to escape from that, or hold the button in order for the tornado to disappear. The pressure from the Arabian Cyclone is fake unless you're in burnout. For some reason, some Rashid players love to use the whirling, the fully charged whirling, when they have a knockdown. So for example, something like this. You can use OD Lariat. Super level 1 is also a knowledge check. That is minus 53, but you can drive rush and wheel kick. Or drive rush SPD, drive rush headbutt, but you have to drive rush this, except if you are in the corner. The same thing applies to the non-power up version from any wind into the Eagle Spike. This is minus 36, so in order to punish this, the same thing applies. Drive rush, wheel kick. You cannot use super level 2 right away, because she can cancel into the snake step. She can easily anti-air with crouching heavy kick, and also the serpent slash, the heavy one. You can empty jump sometimes and bait this and this. That's a very hard read. So the matchup basically is hold forwards, block, use your sweep, and sometimes drive rush into nothing. You need to take her into the corner or land a random DI. You can DI this, but you have to react very early into the animation. You can also DI other things like this one. That's also a DI, but she can mix that up with the throw. It's pretty hard to see, especially if you're in burnout. Your best buttons are your long buttons. Remember that if she tries to go for something like this, you can catch her with SPD or a regular grab. So if you're trying to poke her with a couple of lights and then immediately go into a throw, just in case she wants to do something like this. Ideally, regular throw if you're close, so you don't have to commit that hard with SPD. You can use your crouching medium kick to go under her. A badly spaced Cruel Fate. This also works in burnout, and she's very punishable. You'll see that she's around minus 23, even more, depending on what she does. If the Aki player goes for Cruel Fate, and this is something I didn't know, in fact, I just realized this, she can poke at any distance, create any spacing, and if she goes for lights, standing medium punch, or standing heavy kick into any version of Cruel Fate, even 3 attacks, Lariat, regular Lariat, always beats her. The only way she can go for a true block string is by drive rushing and going to standing heavy kick apparently into the light Cruel Fate. That is a true block string, because otherwise I don't think there's any way for her to do it. The DP is very slow, so every time you land an OD Lariat, jump forwards with heavy. He cannot Shoryuken that, he can't parry it. Use your standing heavy kick if he tries to go for something like this. If he spaces himself with the last hit of Blitz, he will not be punishable. Even though light, medium, and heavy, you can SPD. Those things are usually minus 5 or more. Be careful, in the OD version, that's minus 3, so he's safe. His Psycho Flicker is very annoying. If he goes for the charge, and he's close to you, let's say over here, you can use your super level 2, and the super level 2 will cover the flicker, the dash, or the backdash. If he goes for the fireball, he cannot punish you with a spaced fireball starter into the fireball. You can SPD that. Heavy SPD or even super level 3. But that's it. This matchup is very hard. The standing medium, these 2 buttons, standing medium kick and crouching heavy kick, break the matchup. We have to walk and block and sometimes DI. So we can catch the flicker, the regular flicker, or maybe a random forward heavy punch. If you have Akuma in the corner, get used to the neutral jump headbutt into burst, because the demon flip usually goes over the Lariat, and that's not something you want. The fireballs in the air are really not that good. You can almost always regular Lariat or OD Lariat. You can even catch the other follow-ups. Always go for damage against this guy. I know, Oki is fantastic and you want the Oki, but this guy has a Shoryuken. Ideally, you want to do as much damage as fast as possible. That means SPD, resets into high damage, or use a lot of safe stuff until you can get that high damage, which is basically punish a Shoryuken or a super. But you want to do your most optimal combos against this guy. If you block the first hit, you cannot punish the second one, so you have to be crouching when he starts with the standing heavy kick. But if you manage to block that, he's minus 13. Here you can go a little bit crazier. The best punish, I think, is to go for crouching medium punch. Punish him hard. You want to stop the Devil's Rise with jumping medium punch. Either forward jumping medium punch or neutral medium punch. If you do it correctly, you can even use super level 1 or OD burst. Neutral jump a lot in order to bait the double knee press. Just be careful because he can go for OD Psycho Crusher and super level 3. He has no DP, so you can pressure him with the OD Lariat forward jump. The dry reversal is very interesting in this matchup. If he gets hit by your dry reversal, you will lose the bomb status. So if he goes into a combo with the bomb and you have it on, you can dry reversal any of the heavies. Just be careful because you have to really recognize which buttons you can dry reversal. The classics apply again, sweep, standing heavy punch, carefully, specifically standing heavy punch. Be careful with this one because he's a standing heavy punch, even though I don't think it's necessarily a fantastic move. It has a lot of range. He can punish very easily your whiffed standing heavy punch. I would love to tell you that you can punish easily the double knee press, but this is basically luck. If he doesn't know how to space himself, sure, go for SPD here. Even though the burning knuckle seems amazing, same with the crack shoot, you can DI both. Don't use your standing heavy punch all the time because this can break your standing heavy punch. Cannot cancel his super level 3 that easily from here. He needs to use the OD. He's not a really good poker. His buttons are very specific. Probably his best button for general poking is standing medium kick and crouching medium kick. Everything else is just barely average. SPD, the 1-2. You have to block standing the second attack, but you can always SPD this. -5, -5. The crack shoot is usually safe. You'll see that it's -3. If you're in burnout, this is going to be +1, so you can go for a crouching light punch. But you can definitely DI this on reaction if you get used to it, or even super level 2. He recovers in 18 frames. His pressure into the heavy power wave is mostly fake. You can almost always poke him with crouching light kick into this. And remember that this is also fake. You can use crouching light punch into OD burst to punish very significantly. I hope you enjoyed the video. Take care, have fun, see you later. Bye bye.